And we want to get back to that breaking news now out of the western suburbs. A fire displacing more than 100 residents there.
We do know that crews had to rescue several people. I want to get straight to NBC5's Sandra Torres, who's live from the scene there in West Chicago with the very latest. And Sandra, we're seeing behind you still a very active scene. What can you tell us?
So the fire is under control now, JC and Michelle. However, there are over 100 people displaced. That's because there's a total of 28 units, 2 separate buildings connected that are now impacted by this. And you can see the damage, as we mentioned earlier, significant to this apartment complex located here off of Burr Oak Drive. And the fire chief tells us that at least 6 people were injured. And one of them was a firefighter with a twisted knee, but 5 of them are people who live in these apartments because they had to jump out of balconies. And when the fire chief told us this, it moved us because a pregnant woman had to jump from a 3rd floor balcony. And he has not checked on her condition, but he believes that they all had minor injuries. Just incredible to think that all of these people are doing okay considering what happened here overnight. Now take a look at video so you can get a better sense of what these firefighters were dealing with. West Chicago District Fire Department got a call around 1 a.m. When they arrived at this apartment complex, they came across 2 balconies on fire, 1 unit engulfed in flames, and the chief says that crews immediately had to go into rescue mode to get those people who were stuck in balconies.
8 units on both floors had heavy fire in them because people opened their doors, left them open, and the fire communicated throughout. That's why we had the jumpers, the people jumping out the windows, because the fire was so intense.
And the fire chief says everyone in the apartment complex is accounted for, but as we mentioned, 6 people injured, including 1 firefighter, and they were all transported to a nearby hospital. Now back here live, as you look at this building, the chief was trying to explain to us it is a much older building. This style of apartment complex, usually when there's a fire here, it means that all of the units are impacted, and so everybody involved, everybody who lives here has to be out because they have to cut out the power to the building, the water as well. And one more thing, the fire chief tells us that there was a fire just 6 months ago in the building directly next to it. And so certainly issues that they're looking into right now. The arson task force is out here investigating to try to determine the cause. He does not believe it was intentional. He believes it was an accident at this point. However, standard procedure to bring in the arson team to try to determine what happened. We're going to see if we can talk to some of the folks who are displaced. A lot of them are sitting in their cars right now trying to figure out what they're going to do because they cannot go back in the building because of the damage and also because there's no power to it. We'll send it back to you live in the studio.
And I'm sure in shock as well. Sounds like some terrifying moments out there this morning, Sandra. Hopefully everyone will be okay and can get some help finding some place to go next. Thank you so much for your live report.